Let's see what's up. Top left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Team Liquid. It is TLO. It did sound like the XX, that song, didn't it? It isn't, but the intro does sound like it. Just, you know, really throw chat back because of the 3-minute delay. Bottom right-hand side from E-Wolves, woo! I feel like a bit of a tit every time I say that, I'm not gonna lie. It is Goblin. PvZ, a pretty cool matchup. I mean, if you guys remember back when we did that stupidly long WCS qualifier about 4 or 5 months ago, Goblin played that crazy long game against Snoot on Catalyst when everyone was like super delayed in the lower bracket. That was some good memes, and Goblin has always been this player who, again, can take games, I think, off of a lot of the top people, but can also also just hasn't really had many results, you know? A couple on my cup victories, something like that. But that's just sort of the idea. So, anyways, a laser has come out of game. I would like to try and just check if a laser won his match. So we're going to lose game sound here just for one. Is there a way to just make continuous game sound even when I'm tapped out? Thank you. Yeah, let's do that because I'm just going to tab here for a moment or two. And I don't know why I've never turned that on. That's the dumbest thing possibly I've ever done. Yeah, but I'd just like to get into Laser's next game, but I'd just like to make sure, yeah, he did win. Perfect. So, yeah, we'll just make sure we get ourselves into a Laser's game as well, so we have something on the second screen. Just keeps us busy and makes sure that nothing too crazy happens. Let's get some vote nonsense going. You like community interaction? Well, we could do some voting, but it's a little bit hard for me today because the screen I would usually use to set up the voting is being used for the second screen so we can get into extra games. So it's a little bit tough during WCS qualifiers. I haven't set up to show if we had one going. Port! Port! Sorry, something in my throat. But yeah, for now, just TLO versus Goblin. Again, just early game. I'm just getting set up onto the other matchup as well. As we get this underway. Oh, Port doesn't have any audio? Oh, even better, guys. Alright, what should we say about Port while he's gone? Ha ha ha. What an idiot. God. Who would want to be Port? Huh? I was going to see these couple of links from TLO. Just going to be moving around here. Another gateway coming up at the front. A little bit of a wall off here from Goblin. And he's going into a Stargate. I mean, Goblin is the sort of player who'll play masses of Stargate sometimes. Obviously, he has not committed towards something like that just yet. As we do see, this Phoenix is going to be popping very soon. And that Overlord's obviously going to be in a bit of trouble. For the moment, it just seems to be a very standard Stargate. We'll see if there's going to be more placed down after this Phoenix has dealt with the Overlord, which obviously is going to get a lot of scouting information at the moment. 2 Overlords just spread out at the front. An Evolution Chamber from TLO looks though he'll play a +1 melee upgrade. With an earlier Evolution Chamber like this, +1 missiles doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, yeah, the +1 melee is generally what we're looking towards here. Is this Phoenix going for the Overlord? One kill on the Phoenix as the first few Zergons started coming across the map. There is that melee upgrade starting as we expected. And there is, you know, like we said from Goblin, he likes to play the extra Stargates. So throws the second Stargate down already, has the +1 flyer attack upgrade going. The thing is though, you see this is TLO, you see this Cybercore spin right now, so that's already enough of a scout right there. A few more Zergons just backing away. Yeah, Corvus, I am talking about the Guru versus Clem games that delayed the entire bracket. And then in the lower bracket, Goblin played Snoot. And I remember Stefano was waiting for the winner. And he was like, okay, well, Goblin Snoot, that shouldn't take too long. First game, Catalyst, 50 minutes. We literally ate some noodles during that game because it was just such a ridiculous day. It was just such a ridiculous day as you see that Phoenix continue to move around. And we are going to be seeing the +1 air weapons is just about halfway done. Lair and a Roach Warren on its way up right now. A lot of Lings going to try and get a cancel on the third base. I mean, one Oracle is here to help the defense, which is nice going into Phoenix behind the Oracle. It just means you do have that extra little something to help defend the third, but right now, the SimCity is good. Now there's a shield battery. This should be okay. More Lings coming up in towards the center as we do see the Phoenix coming through, getting a couple of drone kills so far. More Phoenix coming back towards the natural expansion. Lings setting up down on the south side, and we are going to be having more Phoenix continuing to move themselves around the map. 5 drones picked off in recent times, which is quite nice actually. Good damage being done here by Goblin. So some good bits and pieces so far. As we're going to see those Phoenix continuing to move around and getting even more damage done. And here's the thing with TLO, when you start taking damage from this, you really have to be on top of it to make sure that you, I mean, that's the, like, you start taking damage, you will keep taking more and more damage. So you have to be very, very careful. And so you're going to be seeing these Phoenix coming in, and they are just going to take down this Queen. So Queen goes down as well. Nice little pick off there. And yeah, 18 Lings, Baneling S coming down also. Forge and the Twilight Cancel from Goblin coming down in the main base, so continue to set up in towards his kind of future tech. So he's not just thoroughly to kind of depend on Phoenix and more air units afterwards, he is going to go for a ground base army as well. As these Phoenix still just gathering in the main. Oracle moving around too, thinking about which direction he might want to go in. We see a lot of Zerglings off to the left side here for the moment. And a lot of Lings to the right as well, trying to push on forwards. A Zealot, 2 Adepts and 2 Sentries just sat behind this wall. The Banes will start to morph. It looks like TLO is going to get very aggressive. Maybe aware of the fact that he did take quite a lot of damage to the Phoenix and just going to hope that he can do something with these Banelings now. Well, to do something about it. 17 on the left-hand side. Oracle comes in, will start for some damage, but the rest of the Banes are on the left, so I'm not sure how much that's going to matter. Here we go. He's going to go for the surround. Sentries might already look to use their force fields, and the Banes aren't even here yet. 4 probes going down, and this is TLO's opportunity to get back into this game. Can he kill off the Nexus? I think he should be able to. There's so many units right now. As we're going to be seeing the shield batteries are taking damage, the pylons are taking damage. The units are just staying towards the natural. I mean, here come the Phoenix. They will lift up the Banes. So in the end, the Banes will have to come forwards and probably just kind of sit near the Nexus just in case they can help out at all. Sentry's going to be forced for more force fields here, although he will still lose one. The Sentry gets hit by a Baneling as well, which means the Lings will still get more damage done. And TLO now on the counter-attack has killed 17 probes and a Nexus. I think that's more than enough to make up for what he lost to the Phoenix, because he's also killed off the entire army. And TLO, the counter-attack is perfect. Another couple of Zerglings are going to head back up to the top side here. Phoenix from Goblin continuing to gather together, coming in, going to get a Queen kill. And he's not over yet. Yes, TLO did good counter damage, but he had to do some counter damage. Otherwise, he was going to be looking to be in a lot of trouble. Another few drones going to be taking some shots as well. 6 workers going down right there. Phoenix back over to the right side. A couple of Adepts, some Sentries. Immortals all gathering up just outside the front of the natural. Couple of Spore Crawlers currently building as well to the upper right. And those Lings thinking about maybe moving on in here. Phoenix will lift up this Queen as well. Queen will go down. A drone gets picked off also. And again, more Zerglings looking to try and see what they can do. Just because they want to try and stop Goblin from ever going on towards a third base here. Now we do see the Phoenix gathering together. Some High Temple will morph into Archons. This is the larger attack. If TLO can hold this off, he's going to be golden, but I'm not sure if he's going to have enough units. The Banes against so many, you know, Immortals, Archons, the Force Fields available, it's going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult. A couple of Spore Crawlers burrowing in at the front. And we are just going to be seeing this Rotoron already going down. I mean, he hasn't used the Rotoron at all. TLO might just have to give up this base while he tries to buy some time. More Spore Crawlers trying to set up to help against the Phoenix at the very least. The Spores are starting to go down. Here we go. The Phoenix lifted the Queen, dropped it back down. Don't want to commit in just yet, apparently. Banes are trying to find the best position to attack in. The Archons coming forward. No, now the Phoenix are getting themselves the Baneling kills. Force fields go down. They're not perfect though, so a little bit of a gap. Some of the Zealots will go down to the south side of this army. Immortals and Archons still trying to do what they can, but the force fields are just so good they don't even have to take part in this fight just yet. Another Baneling goes off, and these extra Banes just going to disappear. Goblin will take game number 1 off of TLO in this first game. Terran versus Zerg, game number 2. Down a game in the bottom left-hand side. Just let those Phoenix do a bit too much damage, and in the end, his counter-attack wasn't enough to bring him back into it. Our red Zerg player from Team Liquid is TLO. And to the top right-hand side, the blue Protoss player from eWolves. Woo! It's Goblin. I don't know why. I don't know why I put so much effort into the awoo. I don't know. I just want to be part of the meme, I guess. TLO is still around. He is indeed. TLO is very close to qualifying yesterday. Made it all the way to the qualifying match. Went 1-0 up against Hearthstone. Lost, and then lost out to Clem in the lower bracket, unfortunately. See if he can make another big run today. Through the final Challenger qualifiers of the year, by the way. Isn't it crazy? I mean, after this, obviously we build up towards Montreal with actual Challenger. Then after Montreal, oh my god, it's all about BlizzCon. Crazy. Crazy. I really should bring different glasses to custom because these glasses really hurt my ears. I really want to get a new headset, but the new headsets are so expensive. Like, to get one that's like an upgrade from this and is comfortable, the one I want is just stupid. It's not stupid money, I guess, because it is like a proper studio headset. But it's like 400 or 500 euros, and it's like, I just cannot genuinely commit 400 or 500 euros to a headset right now, you know? It's just not a realistic option. So yeah, a bit of a shame, but I should just wear glasses that... Some of my glasses don't hurt my ears as much when I have this headset on. Or I should just make little bits of sponge to put between my glasses and my ears. Maybe that would save me. Ay. Link speed is starting from TLO in the main base. The Nexus coming up on the natural expansion. And the probe here from Goblin is going to be heading back home. It's done its job of scouting. He has got the Adept on the way, which will essentially take the place of the probe. It will now be able to scout, check the vert base is on its way up, maybe check the gases, the saturation here and there. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, TLO was pretty dead, even after sacrificing the base. Like, I mean, you've got Ling Bane against multiple Archons, a lot of Force Fields and Sentinel Immortals. It's just not a good fight for you to really take. It's just not a good fight for you to really take. This Adept is being pushed away by the Queen. Another gateway in the front. Stargate in the main, going to be finishing up very soon as well. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're just waiting to see what the game wants to develop into. On Lost and Found, it's a very standardized map. Ling Bane's going to be very good at trying to deny a couple of these bases. This base is not super open, but it's relatively open. But if you expand down here, it's very difficult for Hydras to really push in. You generally have to go for, at the very least, multi-pronged aggression, like attacking through here and along here at the same time. But even then, it's very choked up getting towards these bases, and that does mean the Roach Hydra styles, you know, they're difficult to pull off. The Ling Bane isn't exactly great either, because there is choke points that can be walled off. It's a tough map, I feel, for. I don't think it's impossible for Zerg, but I feel like it's a good map for the Protoss to get up into a good amount of bases, and maybe we'll see Goblin not play the Phoenix style this time, because he just feels confident enough in setting up without the Phoenix. I kind of feel like that would make a little bit of sense. Just going to be seeing that those rocks taking some damage. Obviously just TLO wanting to open the map up a little bit. That's actually kind of interesting. I guess it makes sense. Sorry, it does make sense. It's not on his side of the map. It makes sense because obviously by taking down these rocks, he opens up these pathways for larger attacks later in the game. So that actually makes a lot of sense, opening up these rocks. I thought he was killing off his own rocks. For a moment, I just mind-blanked. And if you kill your own rocks, then it's kind of like making it easy for the Protoss to push up. Even though they like choke points, you know, it's still kind of, you know, pushing up here just like this into a concave of Roach Hydra is not going to be pretty. So, yeah, it would have been kind of weird. He doesn't actually kill these off, but they are lower on HP, so they go down a little bit faster later, perhaps. Well, once again, Goblin did go into the double Stargate. So despite the fact that you don't necessarily need to go double Stargate here to kind of take the base or whatever, he has gone for it. And it looks as though he'll try and make something happen with it. So let's have a little bit of a look over the next few minutes, as we do see a couple of Adepts from Goblin moving around. A couple of Adepts will start a shade as Spore Crawler starts up in the main base as well. Just getting that Spore Crawler coming through too. A Queen going to push that Oracle off away off to the side as well. And yeah, these few Phoenix just coming down towards the bottom left too. I mean, getting ready to start the harassment. This time TLO needs to be on top of that. He cannot let these Phoenix do similar amounts of damage without being punished this time around. Like, he needs to do more. He needs to stop himself from getting into the same position. And how does he do that? I mean, just a better defense at home or more damage dealt as the Phoenix are across the map earlier? Because obviously the earlier you do damage in the game, the more significant it is. A lot of Lingbane is setting up aggressively, and right now there is nothing to defend this, right? There's an Oracle. Not sure how much the Oracle really matters. A couple of Adepts here too. Yes, the Oracle is nice. His force field's not being baited just yet. He will start to go in towards the natural. Phoenix are being controlled right now, which means the Oracle doesn't come into play. Pushing towards the natural. Zealot will go down. Some Bane should be allowed through to kind of bust through this position. He's actually keeping them alive as he just kills this gateway, but I think that's a mistake. I guess he'll get through anyways. Oh my god, is that a completed wall off? TLO is going to be kicking himself a little bit because I think he could have broken through here. And I guess there's still that gateway. In the end, it's not going to matter at all. Everything is going to get shut down. Those Lings are not going to break through. But he does force the Phoenix to pull back. By forcing the Phoenix to pull back, they're not out in an aggressive position looking to try and, you know, pick off more workers, pick off more queens. And by stopping that from happening, obviously that's a big plus as well. You know, the less damage, you know, if the Phoenix aren't on the other side of the map, they can't be dealing the damage, which is what put TLO behind last time. Yeah, it cost him a little bit of Lingbane. He's going to have another kind of attempt to attack here very shortly, it would seem. A couple of drones already going down. Free work is going down, actually. As these Phoenix are going to come just a little bit further forward. The Queen and a Spore Crawler. Actually going to get one Phoenix kill, as I guess he's distracted thinking about these Zerglings, perhaps. Coming in, a couple of drones going down. Phoenix still taking some hits as they are pushed away to the side. They aren't really going to be able to do much there, then. A little bit of a shame. 5 more gates coming down. Temple Archives is starting in the main base as well. Charge and +1 attack coming through currently. I mean, Goblin's at this stage where he wants to get into his next phase. Obviously, you know, Immortals, Charge Lots, Archons, maybe even towards Storm. As TLO with the Lingbane up, he's already going in towards missile upgrades now, switching towards more Hydras, which is the natural next step for Zerg players in modern day ZVP. So, no surprise there. Shield barriers are going to be pretty much saving everything, apart from at the end a couple of probes. They just ran out of energy. But other than that, all good in terms of defense from Goblin. Didn't lose much at all in TLO. Again, it was scary enough to maybe distract Goblin or keep him busy. It did force some force fields out. He's getting a lot of creep on the map as well, which obviously makes his Hydra Lingbane pushes a lot more powerful. Having the creep to surround with, move around with in general, that's all going to be very potent here. So, getting this set up right now, TLO is going to be feeling pretty good about it. I think as a few extra Banelings do just finish for TLO at the front. And that creep is, again, coming up the top side, coming through the center, to the south, all over the place. It's actually going to be aggression from Goblin. I didn't think he was going to go for this here, but it looks like he will. Obviously, will be looking to maybe add in some High Templars for the Archons. He's got Archons to the side. Okay, I didn't see those coming. But obviously, with those already coming into play, they're going to be very important to be able to, well, just really soak up a lot of the Banelings. But this time, TLO is just so much better set up. He's got Hydras in the army. It isn't just Lingbane. He has a real force that I think he can fight with here. 10 Overlords on the way up too to make sure he doesn't stay supply blocked for long. It's a lot of money. 10 Overlords just before a fight like this. And I know it's going to keep him away from further supply blocks, but just the fact he builds standard time at any point is dangerous. As long as he survives now, though, it doesn't really matter. Another big wave of Zealots. He is running out of Banelings, and I'd like to see him just starting to kind of produce a few more Banelings, because they're going to be very important to kind of keep on dealing with the waves of Zealots, which can be very effective at just running in towards Hydras, and just kind of tanking those Hydras and really kind of taking them down very quickly. One of the Archons has left alive, but only just. If he can get rid of that, that'd be great. And now I think he's going to start overwhelming. The Warp Prism isn't going to warp in time, and the Hydras feel as though he can chase. He's going for the Warp Prism with the Immortals inside. Doesn't get it in the end. He actually pulled back for a slight moment. Not too sure why that is, but does not quite get the kill, as that Warp Prism will eventually continue towards the upper right and escape. Another Archon will morph in now from Goblin. Just to the side here. +2 missile attack starting up as well from TLO. +2 attack on the Forge. And the Immortal just being Chrono Boosted out once again. Revelation will go down here as we see TLO. A few more Banelings of his are going to be finishing up as well very shortly. So he finishes up a few more banelings, and again just have these Zerglings moving around through the top side, seeing just what they can do next. So an opportunity for them to run by, shut down a base. Well, unfortunately, when they were at the 4th base, it wasn't started. It starts just a few moments afterward. 9 more Zealots warp in on the 3rd base too. It's a lot of Zealots that are getting put to work here. More Lings off to the left side. Gathers up with the Hydra's infestation pit. Just over halfway done. Meanwhile, Fleet Beacon a 2nd Stargate in the main base. I mean, I guess it's a 3rd Stargate, right? He went Phoenix again in this game. So 3rd Stargate, he's already looking for that switching toward carriers. TLO's game becomes a little bit more of a time bomb now. Can he hit before carriers? Can he end the game before those numbers become too high? He is looking to tech up himself. He is lagging himself in towards the Lurker Den. He is transitioning. Just a little bit intrigued as to where this will end up going. Banes to the right-hand side are actually going to draw the Zealots out of position. They're actually going to splash onto those walls. That's great because it actually gets rid of their barriers, which means the Hydras can get their job done so much more easily. And there might just be a few too many Hydralists right now as TLO breaks through the 4th base. That at the very least is going down, and again, those Immortals, they have no real protection as we're going to be seeing them continue to be pushed back. The Zealots warping in are enough to kind of actually push the Hydras away. There are only 2 Immortals remaining, and actually, you look back at this, and again, is it actually enough Zealots? With this many Hydras and Lings streaming in to just tank for the Hydras can get the damage done. And again, those Immortals still don't have their barriers off cooldown, so Goblin will know that that's GG, and it's 1-1 in. Back in now to TLO versus Goblin to wrap this series up as well. So continuing on with this for the next couple moments and seeing where this takes us. Just going to quickly have a little bit of a look at the bracket, give you guys some updates as to what things are looking like right now. Showtime will play against Geralt. Did that start already? Maybe we can just get into that very quickly. Looks as though it didn't. So Showtime versus Geralt. Right now, the winner of TLO Goblin will go up against potentially Zanster in the next round. Bly plays Solia, winner of that probably Art or Skiller. DNS is still in his match against Fighting Frog. He has Rail in his section of the bracket. A Laser going to be playing against Lilla Cannon or Silent Storm. The Muslim waiting for Petit Drogo or B. We're getting into these really good rounds of the bracket now. Some really good matches coming up here. Stefano waiting for an opponent too. Yeah, the Muslim against Drogo, obviously a Laser, Lil Cannon maybe. We're getting into this section where things really are starting to heat up. Obviously already Goblin and TLO has given us a pretty great game. And just as an update, we will have Showtime versus Geralt as our other series PvP going on the 2nd screen to continue along here. And I have once again managed to forget to run ad break on a 2-minute ad. God damn it, I'm so shit at this. It's because of 3-minute stream delay. Running 2 minutes of ads is very difficult because you actually have to run the ads a minute after you come back live, and I just forget every time the last day or two. Oh well, in serious and in terms of stuff that matters right now, Oracle Goblin pops out and does start to head across the map here. Looking to get a little bit of damage done. Early game, we haven't talked much about it because we were watching that TVZ wrap up and all the rest, but it has been similar so far. Now, there's a 2nd Stargate up as well. So it's not even just similar, it's almost exactly the same as what we've been seeing throughout the day. So we've really just been continuing to see the same stuff here from Goblin game after game. TLO, I mean, this time he will change things up. It's a Roach Rowan, it's an Evo Chamber. This time it looks like a missile upgrade attack rather than a melee upgrade, Roach-based style. Let's see where this takes us. Maybe into towards some Roach Hydra. I mean, Roaches as a counterattack against the Phoenix can work out if you counterattack at the right time. Now, this is different from Goblin. He has not gone up to this extra additional Stargate this quickly in the past. He's been sticking at 2 Stargates throughout so far, but now an extra Stargate will be placed. And that will raise questions as to maybe what his plans and intentions are this game. Maybe a faster Fleet Beacon, maybe a faster tech in towards something like carriers. Possibilities here as Goblin will resume the game. As we have 1-1 for both of these players in this final map of the series, looking to see just who's maybe going to be able to take it. Drone gets picked off there as well. A couple of drones get picked off right there. Oracle finding some openings still despite being, without shields already, which is obviously a little bit of a shame. And again, just have these Phoenix continuing to gather up together. I mean, Goblin takes down TLO. He doesn't have an easy road forwards from here. potentially Zanster in the next round, possibly Showtime the round after. It definitely isn't easy, but I mean, TLO is already one great player to take out of the equation. Is it possible as we have this Oracle back through the center for Phoenix of Goblin currently heading towards the other left-hand side. Joining with the 5th Phoenix here as well means that it's finally enough to start dealing some damage. +1 flyer attack is done as well, which means those overlords actually go down so quickly, and these drones going to absolutely melt as well. And there's a couple more drone lifts, and it's going to sit through this Spork Roll. Actually doesn't get an overlord because he was a little bit slow to target the drones. And actually, Queens from the right-hand side do get him a kill. Fleet Beacon just finishes. So again, we've been talking about what this Fleet Beacon or extra Stargate means, and a Fleet Beacon was my suggestion to maybe start going in towards carriers at this point. I think it's pretty much one of the most common things to do. I mean, he did really well with the extra Stargate and Anion Pulse Crystals. You don't really need Anion Pulse Crystals against a Zerg player when you're playing Phoenix like this. TLO is starting to bleed a lot of units now, although he has droned up massively. He's going to be on 83 workers despite having just lost 8 workers. He's going to be on 85 workers, so his economy is going to be insane. He is starting to defend a little bit better against these Phoenix, just keeping that Queen alive at least. But again, he has to do something before these carriers get into high enough numbers, because otherwise this game is going to become very troublesome. It's never easy to deal with carriers. As TLO again over-droning to essentially just deal with the fact that these Phoenix are almost guaranteed to kill some drones as they fly around the base. Another couple of overlords here, oh man. Goblin's just getting so much damage done that TLO is really starting to struggle right now. Phoenix coming through the top side. Flying along there, the 5th base from TLO gets dropped down as well. So he drops down the 5th base, 5 more overlords on the way up, 5 more Hydras coming out, +2 missile attack, +1 Carapace, Groove Spines on the way from the Hydralisk Den as well. +2 flyer attack being chrono boosted at the moment. Graviton Catapult on its way up as well. And this forward's just about halfway done for the moment. Extra gateway is going to be thrown down. Things will fly through, going to get himself a couple of kills. Again, just a couple more overlords being picked away at right at the moment. Comes up in towards the main base and is going to find himself again another couple of overlords. That's me. Oh, apologies. Couple of sneezes there. But again, I think the big issue here, the carriers are on the way. And I'm going to sneeze again, aren't I? God damn it. Okay, the carriers are on the way. But right now, there's only 1 or 2 up. Oh, this is Zergling trying to, I think, set off a shield, a Stasis Ward or 2. Right now, I feel there's enough Hydras to push in here and win this fight. But if he doesn't win this fight now, he's so committed to Ling Bait and Hydra, it might be difficult for him to tech up and then to deal with the carriers later. He will set up 1 Stasis Ward, 2 Lings should go for the other. Gets a 4th phase so far. Okay, the Stasis Ward's dealt with. That's a big part of this. Because Stasis Wards are one of the things that can really turn things around for a Zerg player a lot of the time. You'll actually just start finding the Interceptors here, and again, they're not in insane numbers, so the Interceptors will start to drop, but now come the Phoenix, and now it really comes down to what does TLO target. A lot of the Hydras going down because the Phoenix lifts are getting rid of them here. Lings will overwhelm on the ground, but the Hydras are taken down, and these carriers are still standing. With only a few Interceptors though, so reinforcing Hydras show up. Lings will start going to the left side where there's still shield batteries and cannons in play. A couple of shots from Phoenix here. Lings still trying to make their way through something, but with the cannons, with the shield batteries, with the Interceptors coming through, it looks as though Goblin is going to hold on. And yes, he had to cancel the 4th base previously, but that's nothing in comparison to keeping his carrier count alive and, well, just having dealt with his entire army of TLO. You can see his confidence already, realizing the opportunity is there for him to push forwards. The opportunity is here for him to maybe just end this game right now and move through to the next round of the WCS qualifier. So let's see how this goes, pushing forwards. Carriers will, I mean, just play the safe game and get rid of this base first. Ling counter-attack. Hydras as well coming across the map here. I mean, obviously, recall available if Goblin feels like he needs it. At the moment, he can probably kill this base, then go to this base and kill that off too, and then recall. Because these shield barriers are going to buy some times against the Zerglings at least. And if you kill 2 bases and recall, I mean, if you hold 3 base against 3 base with carriers on the map, you are heading into a fantastic position. There's the recall. The Nexus may fall, but it's not going to be before the recall comes down. So yes, the Nexus goes down, but the army will also fall here from TLO, and that just means Goblin will start to go across the map yet again, while the probes will reset the Nexus, get back up to the 3rd base once more. Hydralisk here working its way through the Phoenix. There's our Nexus being placed down once again as we see the carriers coming up through the center of the map, through the left-hand side. Spire's just finished up from TLO. He has got money to spend, but I think even building Corruptors now is not really going to be enough. I mean, 6 carriers are going to melt their way through 13 Corruptors. They have +2 flyer attacks, remember. These Corruptors have absolutely nothing because the Spire is brand spanking new. Well, Spore's obviously going to help out, but for the moment, I think Goblin's okay just to sit here and trade with them. Again, I mean, if, you know, get rid of the Spores now before the Corruptors are here. I mean, that's pretty much just a win-win. Spore's going to try and target down a carrier, but it doesn't really make a difference. Drones are continuing to drop. And, well, I mean, again, there's the Phoenix here to help out as well once the Corruptors actually come into play. And, well, 2, 3 Corruptors have already fallen, considering there's only 10. And not feeling too great. He does get rid of 1 carrier quickly. The second carrier goes down pretty speedily too. But there's still 4 carriers full of interceptors. GG. Goblin pulls it off. He takes